Hey guys, I hope you're doing well. One of the most frustrating things when it comes to mowing your lawn is actually having to get out there and weed eat. One of the things that we found, and most people find to be frustrating, is when you're trying to spool the weed eater line onto your weed eater head. There's a couple little small tips that'll make this so much easier for you. What ends up tending to happen is you have to, it might not be this big, but most people buy a big spool of weed eater line and it lasts them forever. But what happens is weed eater line is actually what's called a hygroscopic material, which means that it tends to absorb moisture. So there's got a lot of moisture inside of the actual material. When you're storing it out in a shed or somewhere hot or in your garage, that moisture tends to evaporate out of the line. And what happens is it becomes very stiff, it can become very brittle, it won't spool up correctly. You can see some U-line like this, it keeps its shape very naturally. So the way that you combat this is once or twice a year, take your spool of weed eater line, however it is that you've got it, and soak it in some water. It can be something as simple as dropping this entire spool inside of a 5-gallon bucket of water. Fill a 5-gallon bucket of water up, 5-gallon bucket up with water, and just drop your entire spool in there. What happens is that this lime will absorb the water, then you can store it off somewhere and it dries out later, and it's gonna keep its elasticity. It's not gonna be as brittle, because what happens when it gets brittle is not only does it want to spool properly, but as you hit the side of the house or the concrete or fences or whatever, it's gonna break off a lot easier and you're gonna go through your line faster. So something as simple as soaking it in the water and letting it absorb that water and letting it retain all of the moisture like a hygroscopic material would. It'll make it last longer, it'll make it more flexible, it'll make it more bendable, it'll make it much easier to spool onto your weed eater head. If you got any questions, you need any help, feel free to reach out. Let us know. Y'all have a good day.